Now this is a very special lens, and it's very special for one reason, and one reason is that this lens does something that no other lens that you have actually does. And what that is it's a cup. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Today's video is actually not about lenses, but actually about cameras. Now, over the last 3.5 years, I have been an avid Nikon shooter, and my go-to camera is, as you well know, the Nikon Z6. Now, because I'm a wedding photographer and it's essential that I have a well-worthy backup camera, I decided that I needed to get myself another addition to my camera gear. So the Nikon Z6 is my go-to body. This is my main shooter. I take this on all my paid jobs. As I said, I am a wedding photographer, and this thing does every single wedding that I do. It does all of my promotional videos, so it does do anything. If I'm doing some commercial shoots or anything for a client, then this is my go-to camera. But today is a very exciting day because today is new camera day. Now, we are going to delve into the new camera, find out which camera it is, and have a look at what's in the box. So being an avid shooter with the Nikon system of the Z mirrorless systems, I absolutely love my Z6, as you could tell from my last video about would I recommend this camera in 2022. Absolutely, this thing is fantastic, but because it's my main shooter, it is a very powerful camera. I don't want to be using this when I'm doing things that are not business related. So if I'm not shooting a wedding or I'm not doing a video job, then I basically want to make sure that this thing stays in my camera bag and is only used when I'm in things like weddings or if I'm in a paid shoot. So when I'm out and about and maybe I'm with the kids or I'm doing some wildlife or I'm doing some football photos, then I need a second camera which is very, very worthy, and that is why I picked up the Nikon Z5. Now, the Nikon Z5 is an entry level to a full frame from Nikon. Nikon now have a Z9, Z7, Z6, Z5, Z50, and they are all of the Z systems, the mirrorless systems that Nikon have. Now, this box, I bought this off a company called slrhut.com, which is, I got this camera for a discount price. It was down from 1,400 to £900. So nice little addition to the kit. This thing is going to be probably my, I wouldn't say main shooter, but like I said, it's not going to be doing my paid shoots. It's basically going to be the camera that I take out if I'm just out and about shooting, doing some landscapes or long exposure and stuff. This is the camera that I will be using. So inside the box, we have a couple of cables, obviously to connect the camera up from the camera to the computer. We have things such as the power cable for your charger. So it is a charger which is compatible. It is the MH25A. Now this thing will charge my Nikon Z6 battery as well as the Nikon Z5. The Nikon Z5 actually is a USB-C, so you can actually, it's like a Thunderbolt, you can actually charge it whilst you are using the camera, so you can make sure that you don't run out of battery. So you can always make sure once the battery's into the Z5, you can continuously shoot and always have a trickle feed of power going into it. But I've got two of these now. I have one with my Z6 and obviously with my Z5, so very, very handy. Nice little camera strap which goes over the shoulders. Usually what I do is I use the Peak Design one, which goes on my wrist, which attaches to the side of the Z6, and then the camera is always, if I was to drop it or lose grip of the camera, then it is always secured because it will be attached to my wrist. But I think when I use the Nikon Z5, I think I will use the shoulder straps and attach that to the camera. At least then when I'm out and about, the camera is always at my chest. I can pick it up and just start shooting that way. And then also in the box, we have the battery. And as I mentioned, these batteries are the same. Now this is backward compatible, so this will be used in my Nikon Z6 as well. Unfortunately, I only have two batteries, but I will be purchasing another one, so I will probably get another one of these, and I make sure I have plenty of juice to last me throughout my day of shooting. Now the Z5 looks alarmingly like the Z6. Now as you can see, this is the Z6, this is the Z5. Now side by side, top down, they look pretty much identical. Now, as you will tell, the Z6 does have an LCD screen on the top, so you can see your camera settings on there, and obviously it is not present on the Z5, but it does have the articulated screen, same EVF, so it is slightly less in resolution. I think the megapixels on this are 24.3 when the Z6 is 24.5, and it is backside illuminated. This isn't on the Z5, but it's not going to be a deal breaker. It is a very worthy backup camera. Over the next couple of weeks, I am going to be putting this thing through its paces and giving you at home a view of what the Z5 is really like as an entry-level full-frame Z system from Nikon. It's going to be a fantastic little addition to my camera bag, and like I said, this is my backup shooter. Because I'm predominantly a wedding photographer, I always make sure that I have a backup camera and a worthy backup camera in my bag. So if anything was to happen to my main driver, I have a fully worthy Z system camera and backup camera so I can carry on shooting if anything was to ever happen. One noticeable difference is the memory card slots. The Z6 is an XQD card single slot camera. Obviously XQD cards are very, very reliable, but also very expensive. It is a single slot, the Z6, but Nikon did not implement the XQD card readers into the Z5. They have gone with their standard SD, and as you can see, there is a dual slot in there. So I have cards that are ready to go in so that I can go out this weekend and start shooting on this camera. Really looking forward to getting out and using this camera and giving you an honest review on what this camera is like. Like I said, ergonomically, the cameras are, you know, they look really, really the same. When you are holding them, there is a slight difference. I would say that there is a tiny little bit less of this sort of rubbery grip on the Z5. Not massively, but honestly, if I was to shut my eyes and hold both cameras in my hand, I probably would not be able to distinguish between which one was which. So very nice little addition there. Over the next few weeks, I am going to be rigorously testing the Nikon Z5, putting it through its paces and giving you guys at home a thorough review really of what this thing is capable of doing and how good it actually is. It looks and feels just like a Z6. Like I said, there are some little changes to this camera. Very, very excited. I'm yet to turn it on. I've not turned it on yet or taken a single shot on it, but I am very looking forward to the weekend where I can take this out and start testing it and look to make a video to show you folks at home just how good this camera is. So really excited for that. So how I got this camera was I used a company called mpb.com. I will put the link in the description below. mpb.com was suggested to me by a YouTuber called James Popsis, who I follow very, very religiously. He's a fantastic YouTuber, fantastic photographer, and he suggested if you have camera gear to trade in, then MPB are a very good company to use. So one day I decided to see if I could get a quote on my Nikon D610 and my Mavic 2 Pro drone. As I said at the start of this year, when I did my What's in My Camera Bag 2022, I have downgraded from a Mavic 2 Pro to the Mavic Mini, so I had no use for the Mavic 2 Pro. And because I wasn't too keen on using the DSLR, being so heavily reliant on the Nikon Z6 being a mirrorless, when I did use that backup camera of the Nikon D610 and it being a mirrored camera, I just wasn't really that happy using it. So what I decided to do was I decided to have a little bit of homework and have a little look around and see what was on offer. I did look at the Nikon Z50, but that being a crop sensor camera, I didn't really want it. I wanted to get a full frame, so using mpb.com, as soon as I gave my description of my camera gear, they gave me a quote. We then pressed forward, they came with a courier and collected it, and then a couple of days later they chased up and had a look at my camera gear, graded it and sent me the money straight to my bank account, which then enabled me to go out and buy the Nikon Z5. So very happy with that. I'm very happy with the kit that I've got now going forward in 2022. I've got a fantastic backup camera, a fantastic main driver, and a brilliant vlogging camera in the Sony ZV-E10. So time for me to go and to give the Nikon Z5 a thorough testing, and in a couple of weeks I will give you a full review on how good the Nikon Z5 actually is. Short video today, that's all I wanted to talk about, nothing to cover too much, didn't want to go too deep into the details of the camera. As I said, that's coming in a later video. So apart from that, and with my funky new lens cup, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, and I'm looking forward to keeping you updated on just how good the Nikon Z5 is. So yeah, nice and quick. And as I say, see the world, capture life, and I'll see all you lovely faces in the next one. Peace.